Good morning, gents. It's a cold one here in Kansas. Welcome to episode 4. Waiting for Tommy to click on, and we'll get started. So please like, share, tag your friends. If you're watching, that's what's happening. Hit the subscribe button, like us, tell your friends, comment below. Just waiting for Tommy. If you haven't watched episode 1, 2, and 3, definitely do that. You can find us on YouTube and here in the sanctuary group. So I hope you guys enjoyed our spirit talk. If you guys are also want to intervene with a topic and have hey, I really would mind you guys talking about this or anything at all, let me know. Post it in the comments, share, DM us, message us, email, check out our websites. So, yeah, here comes Tommy right now. Perfect. Maybe. Is it coming?
I was hearing you say that, and I'm like, why can't it get on?
I was just telling everybody where they can find us, how to see us. Episode 4 here.
Oh my gosh.
Will you move your camera, midget?
I'm tired. Move it down?
Perfect.
Okay.
I need to back a little bit. Perfect. Yay.
I'm so tired today.
Oh, I told you, it's cold in Kansas. Tommy's he's just getting up, so it's 8:30 there. Getting school kids on Zooms, ready there.
They're going back in 12 days.
Not that we're counting down the days or anything. We're not those. Wait a minute. As everybody, what we talked about last week, where to find us on YouTube. We're in episode 4. And today we're talking, and what we left off with is feelings and trusting ourselves, like our inner knowings, our feelers, which is comical because
Hey Lisa,
which is comical because we all have those in our life where we're like, oh, listen, I know this, you should listen. And sometimes people don't, but we want to get people to trust their inner knowing and their feeling more. The common, most, I think, misperception that I have heard, maybe Tommy, you've heard this with your clients as well, is I'm afraid to feel because the last time I did, it put me in a danger, or I trust myself and it ended up being horrible in a bad situation. Oh my gosh.
Do we need to come back?
I might, everybody just stand by just a quick second. This is real life. This is real time. This is for real life. Okay, here we go. So, and that's where I've done videos and talking about it. And everyone's like, oh, I trusted myself this once, and I end up meeting the blah, the guy, the this, the that, or it did this, and I revert back to, what did you learn from the situation? There is no wrong decision. If you trusted yourself, you were meant to experience whatever that was for a reason. But there's a lot of times I've noticed people are like, I'm not going to trust that decision because last time I felt like it was bad, but they never evaluated the lesson.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's the same. It goes, that's a piece. The other one is also, speaking of real life, my dog is scratching to get in the, you guys could hear that. I'm gonna get him in a second. But the one that I deal with the most is actually the non-feeling, right? So it's like we block feeling, which is most of the time, thank you, Johnny, is most of the time because of trauma. Okay, thank you. Shut the door. Thank you, sweetie. Is because of trauma, they have a block of actually feeling. So that's why I don't most of the time. But yes, or if they make a decision and it's like, oh my gosh, all these things happened, but really going back of looking at it from a different lens and a different perspective of, yes, all those things happened, but what actually happened? What actually, they're showing me like, I don't even know what type of fruit this is. It's funny. It looks like a radish. And I'm like, really, a radish? But it's like squeezing it, right? Of maybe that's what it is, the tough situation or something like that. And the nectar that comes out. And like, what is the nectar?
Right.
Even, yeah, in all situations.
It challenges people's belief, because you were taught that things don't happen for a reason, especially if you follow mainstream religion, and that it's a coincidence, that it's you know, it was just this is just the way it happens. But you're here to learn and experience, and just like you don't evaluate and we'll go back and be like, you know what, yep, it ended up being, what is that, you know, make lemons and make lemonade, like that thing, same concept. If you don't go back and be like, yeah, but actually that led to this, this, and this, and this, and follow the trail, hey, I actually learned a lot of it. Or you know what, check, guess what one
you say follow the trail. I want a good exercise, and it just came, but a good exercise would be to take something, right, and actually go backwards.
Bingo.
Like, oh, I'm here, and like, oh, well, I'm here because of here, because of here, because of here. It's actually like you track it backwards to actually see, oh my gosh, like the web back.
Yep. And then they really realize, like, wow, I met so and so during that time. Well, this, you know what I mean? There's always a domino effect that happens, and there's something good out of it. But your trauma response is to see it. Your fight or flight response is to see it negative, because you've been programmed to look at every situation in your life negative until you reprogram your brain to see the positive of situations. You're always going to lean to the negative. We're all guilty of this, but it's reprogramming your thought process with mindful meditation, a gratitude list, all the things you can do to redirect your energy and your focus on something positive.
Yeah. And I want to say too, and we've talked about it, just to make sure that there's no like bypassing. It's not like, there are some terrible things that happen. There are some terrible things that happen, and people will be like, oh, your soul wanted to go through this. I mean, well, we can talk, but there are some really terrible things that happen. But the point of all this is actually looking at the whole situation and what is the nectar out of it.
Yep.
There is always something. It doesn't mean that what happened was terrible and non-deserving and all of that, right? But it's not just, oh, let's bypass this to only find the good, because there's so much in a situation.
You came to experience. If you listen to any NDE stories, you came down here, and this is going to challenge everybody's beliefs and rock you a little. You came down here to experience the good, the bad, the ugly. It is your perspective of your reality where it comes.
I have to tell you something, Tawnya. I have to tell you this. So you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Okay. So last night, Harlan's my son, for everyone who doesn't know, he just turned 8. So he said, Mom, you know, he's been talking about like life, like asking me these like really interesting questions about life. But last night he said, Mom, I feel like we're living like in a video game. And I looked at him and I'm like, and Tawnya knows this. And so I've said this before. I have said this like months ago. And I said, did you ever hear me say that? And he looked at me confused and he's like, no. And I said, why are you asking me? Or like, where did you come up with this? And he's like, I don't know. I feel right now, like looking around, like some things and this, it's like we're in a video. I was like, he must have heard me. He must have heard me, but I didn't talk about that around him. It was really with you, you know, just like on these calls. And he was so serious, and his face was shocked. And I said, I have said that, baby. And then we're sitting there, we're watching like 911 or something. And he looked at me and he goes, why are we here? Like, what's like the big purpose of why we're here? And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, you're 8, you know? And I talked to him about that. I said, we're here to experience. Everything is an experience. And anyway, but I thought it'd be so neat to maybe go on a live with him too, just to get to see how it's coming through. And granted, I'm open and I talk to them about all this. And even my mom is like, oh, your kids, like, they were learning about the planets. And Harlan comes in and he's like, you know, they didn't talk about Pluto. And I'm like, but we know Pluto's still the planet. Or like Johnny with the planet, she starts talking about the aliens. And so of course there's going to be like different conversations with the kids, but it's not like we talk about it 24/7. And so to see his questions and stuff like that is really, yeah, yes. Okay, I need you. Yes.
And Bradley and Stacia did the same exact, especially at that age. And Stacia,
you can't
could see.
Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, sorry. I have my daughter who's here in underwear. Yeah, they can see you, so don't come over here. I love you too. So anyhow, I just thought this literally just happened last night, even of what we're talking about. So the one thing I'm trying to teach my kids is always to trust themselves. So when he'll ask me things or situations, he was watching something on the TV, and it was a point in the where it was like a sad point in the movie, and he looked at me and he's like, I'm feeling very sad right now. Is this normal? And I was like, oh my gosh, because he's a super empath as well. But it's just fascinating. And so talking about trusting yourself and all that, that's the one thing I'm trying to foster with both kids, is to trust their feelings. And yes. And yeah, to trust their feelings and everything that's going through. Johnny.
And I love it because
I know, honey.
Same questions when they were that age. Same questions. Well,
yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, I was raised with more spiritual than I was religious, but always having a very close relationship with Jesus. And
Henry.
And they're always like, oh, like, you know, well, and you were raised in church. I'm like, no, just Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, kicked it with Buddha too. So here we are. And, you know, that gets everybody's feathers ruffled, which I find very fascinating. And my grandma was the one who had taught me, you know, a lot and worked with me and had taught me about everything is, you know, happens for a reason. You came here to experience. In honor of her, today is her 5 years of passing to the other side, where she is kicking ass on the other side. So not sad for her at all, because she was happy to leave this place we call Earth. She's kicking and rocking over there. So today's my grandma's day of making the big step, moving on. So I'm excited about that. But and I was there with her pass, so this was kind of a big day for me, because this opened up my clairaudience and all my gifts. So today is kind of a good day.
That is really interesting to say that like, even though you've had, when you track back, right, like, and we even talked about this the other day, right, we were talking about with my first fiance, like what happened in that situation, and me seeing things without even realizing, and I was like seeing them at the point, but when I track back now, I could see so many times where I was like, oh my gosh, it literally has always been with me. But you said that too, but it was at your grandma's passing, almost at the ignite, like that it was so, my leg is going off, that it was so obvious to you.
Well, and it was funny because if you haven't heard my story, but we're talking about feeling, is I had, just like you, feeler since day one, like empath, feeling, knowing things, always being like that. And then I just thought, like I said, I was a good guesser, didn't think anything of it. Well, then so it was tonight, like 5 years ago in the evening, she had passed. And after they took her off and she passed, I could hear her like I was talking to you. And I thought, oh, it's because I just talked to her last week. She's in my head, until she started showing up in my meditations. But it's you don't know you're different until somebody else tells you you're different. But that's exactly it, the trusting yourself. But I've always had that inner knowing and feeling. And then it just blossomed from there. But yeah, it was like another, like you said, ignite.
Yeah. I want to say something else because they're bringing it up too. So it's saying, like, we're both talking about how we knew that we had it. I struggle. I just want to say that I struggled so long, and Tawnya can like attest to this too, because I was still really struggling when I met her.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was struggling so much. Like, I don't have anything. Like, I literally was convinced that I don't, but I'm such a believer. And it was so, it felt so right of everything I need to do, but I felt I was more of like support, like the supporting role. I felt the same with my daughter. Yeah. Yeah, Marie, you can talk of like actually, yeah, feeling them different from that side. Yeah. But I want to say that it was so, until it clicked for me and I realized, oh my gosh, this is what it is for me. And we've talked about that, right? Because we all have it. We all have, I don't want to say it's an ability, right? We all have the ability. And when it actually clicked, but it's like tricky because it's always been with you. And then when you actually really realize it, you realize how much it's always been with you. And for me personally, I don't want to say that I like dismissed it, but I really dismissed a lot.
Yep.
For many other reasons too. I have my own like trauma and stuff that I dealt with too. But the point is I dismissed so much. So when I started to actually realize what it was and how clear it was, it was kind of like, really? Wow, this literally has always been here. Yep. And forever, I never saw it.
Well, and it's not, and I didn't think it saw it, it just didn't know. Like, and right now I'm teaching an angel course, and everybody's like, okay, well, how do I hear different than, because it sounds like me, and there's this process. I remember when you came, Spirit's saying, well, tell them the time that you wanted to sign up for Rainbow. And I had only done a couple meditations with you, and she comes up to me, she's like, I got to do Rainbow. And I'm like, and if you haven't known about my Rainbow class, it's an advanced healing course. It's Reiki, you learn symbols and everything else, and we're moving, past vibration. We'll talk about Reiki another day, but it's an advanced healing course. So she comes, she's like, I got to be in this class. And I was like, and usually I can see not everybody that's in my class, but I can see, and I'm like, are you sure you want, and she's like, I got to be here. I was like, okay. I'm like, whatever you got to do.
But what she doesn't know, so this is Tanya's side of it, right? So this was in like February or something, right? And I had met Tawnya for the first time. It was like September, the year before, when she had the event. And what she doesn't know is when I found out about energy work, it was a deep knowing in my body. I had to learn it. And I had asked for a teacher because I've been doing a couple things, and we can talk about it later. But I had asked for, okay, baby, can you go out now? Thank you. I'd asked for a teacher, and literally 2 days later, Tawnya like came in my feed, and she was having this class or this on-site thing in San Diego in 2 days. And I had not followed her, nothing. So both my legs are going off. So then when I went to the event and I met her, I got wind of this course that she had done, or she was like wrapping it up or something. And I knew right away, this is it. This is who I was asking for. So I had been waiting for like 6 months for her to release the course.
And I'm over here like, and it was in September, and I was in the first group, and I only do it once a year in the spring. Yes. And she's like, I need it now. I'm like, you're going to have to wait till spring, bro. But then when she came up, I was like, I don't really, okay, sure. She's like, I'm trusting myself. I was like, you get called to this class, and
it was such a knowing. And even for the teacher of it to be like, are you sure? And I was like, yes.
All right, dude, let's roll. Because it's an intense course. So I was like, all right, let's do this. But I love how, you go out through your life talking about looking back. We laugh about it now, looking backwards.
Yeah.
And, it's trusting yourself, knowing, even when, the facilitator question.
I know. Questions. Hang on one second. Go ahead.
So that's where we encourage you. Hey, Johnny's here. So
you hear, I want Bella, of course, per usual.
Right. Puppy dog. So always trust yourself. Because that road may lead.
Yeah. And that was such an example of, there was something guiding me.
Feeling.
We'll just say my higher self. But there was no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And that probably was the first that I could consciously, like, I knew it in the moment it was happening, and I didn't know why, but I knew in the moment what was happening.
Yes, it's a feeling. And, you know, and it's funny because I've heard this so many times from everybody. There was this one time I had this really feeling, and it wouldn't go away, it wouldn't go away, it wouldn't go away. And they're like, oh man, I'm so glad I trust that feeling. And then you get the follow-up question. How do I get those feelings more? Or how do I go into that more? And I give the cliche answer that everybody hates. Meditate. Automatic. Sit with yourself.
That's the work.
It is. It's tons of work. And you have to, I'm getting dizzy. And you have to constantly sit, listen, trust. And it takes over. Oh, it's repetition.
And then it's like the more, and then it can come down to just simple decisions that you just know so much because you know you're in it. Tawnya, you talked about, and it's brought up, like, intuition game. There's like an intuition game that you shared before where you're like, when you're I'm trying to remember in the context that you shared it, but it's like when you're first trying to open your intuition or learn it, you just start to say, like,
so I teach. I used to teach it a lot. Now I just kind of tell people this is like how to get connected with trusting yourself and spirit. So, did we talk about this in Rainbow, or was it another course?
I don't remember. That's what I was trying to think. I don't remember. No.
Do a couple things. My favorite is the parking game. So I manifest a parking lot, or if I'm going somewhere in a parking lot, the like closest, or have a parking lot space available. So I do this all the time before together, wherever. So I start communicating and saying, okay, I need a parking space. I need one available. Tell me where to go. Especially like when you're in a parking garage or a big mall or something, and there's all these cars, you're like, where to go? And you're like chasing, like, there's a bunch of rats running around, like trying to find a spot. So I will hear, go left, go right, go whatever. If you don't hear, you will feel or know, okay, I feel like going this, I feel like going that direction. So I follow those games. Sometimes they lead you around a little bit. It's not like it's perfect, foolproof. Another one I like to play if you have a lot of time on your hands, especially with not the weather I've got right now, but be like, okay, I'm going to drive. I want to see something. Give me a sign, or something, whatever. Give me a sign, and then say, I'm going to drive. Show me a sign, and I'm going to listen to your directions. So if it's left, right, left, those kind of things. What's another good one?
The car. The car is another one.
You can.
The color of a car.
Okay. Hold on. Spirit is saying this. As you were talking about that's a different manifestation game.
Yeah.
But
okay, we'll save that for later.
I've had a few people get hung up on this, and I think it's important that we bring this up. I had a student last week who was looking for a specific sign, a specific thing. And she was so specific. Is I'm saying the word that it
Oh, I was like, what is that? I think it was a yarn. Okay.
Nowhere, as we're talking about low yarn around. I haven't even picked it up in a while. That it was very tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just ask for a sign and then wait, because it might not just be one thing that you're asking for. A lot of people are like, let me see a cardinal, let me see a feather, a butterfly, a certain number sequencing, where you're limiting opportunities for the magic. So try not. Yeah, that's
so specific.
That specific game that was working on. Yeah.
But those are fun. It's super fun to do. I did it at the beginning, and to me these it's interesting because they're showing me like puzzle pieces, but it's not a flat puzzle. It's actually it's puzzle pieces, but it's a building block.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The coloring car is a little.
I know. Yeah. I know. Right. Yeah. I know. I was like, I get confused sometimes. They start to mush together, especially when you have so many.
There is a lot of things that come through, yes, and tools and transmissions and but yeah, feelings and that. What else should we talk about? What's our time here?
5 minutes. If you guys hear my kids, I'm sorry, they're fighting right now.
It's okay. I in here soon. So let's talk about feelings next week. Trust ourselves. Marie, you got any comments? She's a loyal fan here. Engaging.
Oh yeah, we'll stop chit chatting.
Oh, Marie's like, here, talk about feelings. I'm like, yes, feeling, knowing, trusting yourself. If she's got any great one, if not, we'll think of something to come up with. If you have any suggestions, comment below, message us. Well, just like I said at the beginning, let us know. We're always willing to answer or help or channel any guidance.
Yes. Oh, we can channel too. Yeah, we channel guidance. So put them in here.
Well, let's.
All right.
I don't remember. There was something I thought we were going to do. Let's leave next week open to who knows what's going to happen.
Perfect.
Mercury's in retrograde, so who knows what's going to happen. I think there's a new moon somewhere. So, whoo, Daisy. We got happening. So, you guys have a fabulous week. Stay warm. We got this Arctic blast that's hitting most Marines in the UK. I don't know what's going on over there, Marie, but we've got an Arctic blast here in the States, and it is cold.
Yes.
Aw. Well, Marie,
thank you.
We love that you're here. Marie has a page for a while. She is an amazing healer. She's written a book. Yeah. You have to write that down. I haven't even gotten my copy. I need to get my copy. Marie is the most beautiful soul. I absolutely love her. So I think she has a page, and I think she's also doing, she also has a new skin line care. So if you're
perfect
up with Marie, she is the best. She's like an angel on earth. I love her. So hook up with her if you guys are needing or feel drawn to her energy. She's an amazing soul. So you guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys. Stay warm. Lots of love.
Bye.